we've been able to keep our line flat, or more flat than the rest of the state, or I'm sorry, the rest of the country in the state of Minnesota. And really the goal still is to delay that peak until after some of the other areas have hit that peak. So for instance, if New York or California or Washington are coming down off of their peak, that there would now be equipment and people available to help with the treatment in Minnesota. So their goal is to really keep the number of cases as low as possible. It's really a matter of resource allocation. Along with that is, we pay the price in that long grind, trying to wait it out, but also in PPE and managing our people. It's a process trying to do daily work and find new processes just to accomplish things that we could do in a lot shorter manner. This council meeting is one good example, but we're doing everything differently, and we're still continuing to learn. Overall calls for service in law enforcement. Generally speaking, overall calls for service are down, but more serious calls are up. So they've seen a trend that, for instance, the robberies or burglaries, assaults, and those types of calls have gone up. But traffic stops, suspicious circumstance, things like that have gone down in frequency. So we're continuing to monitor where the situation's been at and where we're at. We're still in a relatively manageable state, which I think a lot of us can appreciate the feeling of hurry up and wait, especially leading up to this. So much time and effort has been put into preparing for this. And I think as a city, we're as prepared as we can be right now. We're still trying to tighten up some loose ends, and there's certain things that we need to get organized in line. But generally speaking, I think we're well organized to, at least as well organized as we can be to try and prepare for the continued growth. And hopefully we don't see it, but in doing the research and looking at other places where this is hit, they still have yet to find a place that said it wasn't as bad as they thought it would be. So with that, I'll pass it off to Brad, and then I'll stand for any questions that anybody might have.
Thanks, Matt, for touching on lots of parts there. I'll focus just a couple of areas. One, regarding our biggest threat from a long-term standpoint is our tax impact. 84% of the revenue comes from property taxes. Hennepin County is reviewing a proposal tomorrow night that would eliminate the penalty for individuals who have property taxes due May 15th, but they could wait to pay them until as late as July 15th without any fines. Now, having said, I anticipate we won't have any issues with the first settlement of this year. There may be some delinquent taxes with the second settlement of the year. Most people do escrow their property taxes, and there has to be a year's worth of funds in those escrows. So we believe we'll be fine for the next couple of settlements. It really depends on the long term. Even that being said, as we develop the 2021 budget, just a heads up, we might make in a factor where we receive 85% of taxes. We will get those. They would come as delinquent taxes. So if that were to happen, maybe another year we get 105% of our taxes. But this goes to the importance of how we've been so responsible raising our reserves as well, so we can handle these impacts that do happen. But those are scenarios we're thinking about. We continue to adjust our work practices. We're doing a great job. I think Jessica has basically the entire admin department working remotely this week, besides herself sometimes and Joe, because it's audit week. We're doing an audit remotely for the first time ever. Crazy things like that. Public Works is also adjusting all work practices. We are planning for remote meetings for the foreseeable future, so beware of that. And on to the smaller side, spring baseball has been canceled. Cleanup day has been at least postponed, if not canceled. We're talking about 19 nights. They're advising groups to start thinking about whether they're postponed. And other events, we're going to have to start talking with the Lions and JCs regarding that. And, so it's a lot of work. We're doing so far so good. But on top of that, many of us working at City Hall are also now responsible for distance learning with our children on top of this. And if this, could be weeks and weeks and weeks, this is truly a marathon. So that's all I'll add.
Okay, we'll go around and ask questions. Myself, I really have no question, just a comment that I'm impressed with the great job our staff is doing, and everybody is doing and handling this, and particularly for Matt and the emergency response stuff that they've set up. I know folks have been in the council chambers and seen what they have set up there and what's going on. There's a lot behind the scenes, and any person out on the street, but it's there and it's comforting to see it, and I appreciate the efforts that you put in. Councilmember Anderson, do you have any comments? Questions?
What is our supply of personal protective equipment for the officers sufficient? Does the pipeline seem to be still flowing as they use some of that equipment?
Sure. So I will say we're in a lot better position than many other cities. We got out pretty early and tried to get our PPE in line at the time. We don't know exactly what that demand is going to be. We've done some calculations on burn rates, and we're okay, but not great. Councilor Dejewski was key in trying to help us find another option for some N95 masks. So we're very appreciative of the work that he's done and trying to help us out. And I think right now we're positioned as well as we could be. And I know that some of the other agencies are struggling more than we are. So I don't have a great answer. I think obviously we could, it'd be nice to be in a little bit better position, but also we know that right now there are healthcare providers, other places that are in a lot worse position than us. So if we've been approached lately, we're okay for our immediate future, but what that means when it comes to either election time, if we have to outfit election staff or other parts of the government it's unforeseeable. If we hit August or September, we'll have a better idea of where we're at and what we have for inventory then. So I would say we're okay now, but what the future holds is still uncertain.
I will just say very quickly that we're okay because Matt jumped on this early and did the math, did the burn rate, talked to the departments what we need. Because he jumped on early, we're okay.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah.
Okay. Councilmember Bottom?
No, I appreciate all you guys are doing. Wow, that's loud. Are you guys getting a reverb here?
A little bit.
Oh, okay. I pay pretty close attention to this, and I'm happy and proud of what you guys are doing, and I appreciate it. So I got.
Okay. Councilmember Dejewski?
Yeah, thanks guys for all that you've been doing. It's a lot harder to do jobs from home, but yet you guys seem to be doing it masterfully. So nice job with that. And the only thing I would say is if these meetings need to continue, we got to change some sound on your end. It's really hard to hear Brad when you speak in compared to the rest of us. And of course, Alan should be our announcer with his little headset there.
I'm calling planes in as I go.
That's right. But overall, thanks for the update.
And Councilmember Schultz?
And I'd like to reiterate what the other council members have said. Thanks to staff for all they've done in this challenging time. I also have a couple of questions. I'm wondering if staff has heard from any of our developers on in any slowdowns in home sales, or have they changed any of their timelines on their proposed developments that are in plans, or do we have any updated projections on building permit applications for any of these developments? And then the last thing I would suggest is anytime we can, let's think about buying local during this pandemic situation to support our local businesses. If we can buy things in the community instead of sending our dollars outside, that would really help our small businesses in town.
So Mayor Council, specifically related to development, the only pause we've been hearing about is potentially the last phase of Ravinia with the larger homes. That being said, they're still pushing forward with the proposed Westwood project. We have not received the application yet, but we anticipate we will. MI is still moving forward with their concept plan. That will be at the next meeting. Pulte Homes, the Bellwood Developments still is selling. So we're not seeing an impact yet at this point. We'll see how long this lasts. I think the biggest challenge for developers is either they play it safe and then they miss a construction season, or where they do push forward and don't miss a construction season, but then they have too much inventory. So it's a really, really difficult decision for them to make. But we're not seeing the impact right now. And just regarding the local, doing what we can, a lot of places are closed rather. That being said, Pat, for example, does use his local connections to land some of this stuff that he's needing for his crew, and I know Matt does too, so definitely know.
Thank you.
Okay, on item 12A, which is the council schedule.
Mayor Council, on the schedule right now is the Three Rivers Park District Diamond Lake Regional Trail Corridor. We'll see if that stays. The other big item really is that concept plan from MI Homes. That's the former Sawgrass development across from City Park. That's 200 plus homes or so. So that will be on the agenda for review at the next meeting. And I would anticipate it to be a similar format, hopefully with better audio from me.
Okay. Let's go on for the council members. Any council questions or comments? I have none. Councilmember Anderson?
No questions.
Latimer?
No, I'm good. Thanks.
Dejewski? Any questions? Brian?
Brian, you got your mic up there.
Nothing for me.
Okay, how about Schultz?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, any other business for the council? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Dejewski.
Dejewski?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, Thomas, aye. Anderson?
Aye.
Latimer?
Aye.
Dejewski?
Aye.
And Schultz?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Another great job.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
You gotta stop.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.
You too.